bass line.
It's funky. I like it.
Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Runs0b3r podcast. This is episode number 29, right?
29.
Yeah. 29. Today we have a special guest. Is one of my longtime friends. We went through hard times together. We went through good times together. We've done a lot together. So this is Dusty Burrows. Yeah.
Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys?
Woo, 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 woo.
Good to be here.
Yeah. So, and to the left of me is
Eric J. Henderson.
and I am Brandon K. Veltman, and we do not only discuss running and sobriety, but all walks of life. For every one of us has a unique story. The journey begins and ends with you. So, Dusty, what I want to talk about, I want to go over a little bit of history of what made you decide to get into the recovery field.
Okay.
And the mental illness and sobriety field, and also a little bit of back history of yourself. I know I was hospitalized before I ever got clean. I know you were many times, you said. Mm-hmm. So maybe you want to get into a little bit of that, and then I doubt you want to touch on like your the passing of your ex-wife or anything like that, because that's all like that all will develop somebody, like when my mom died and stuff. It was like, it was tough, you having to deal with the children, that have to actually deal with that. That's super tough, man, being a father that has to deal with that kind of stuff.
My dad last
And
December.
then I want you to touch on a little bit about the recovery of how everybody's recovery looks a little different.
Okay.
And there's different ways of getting clean and sober out there.
Right. There's levels to this shit.
Yeah. So go ahead, Dusty. Let's hear you, buddy.
Okay. Well, it's good to be here, man, and hopefully I can cuss. Cause
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can cuss.
But let's just start.
I got fuck on my shirt.
First of all, I just want to say thanks for having me on. I'm proud of you, man, and the journey
For real,
that you've made.
Let me hit the
Because
button
we
for
do.
it.
We go way back. Man, I'm just blessed to be here, and it's been quite a journey. But I'll take it to the very beginning as far as where the idea of kind of the seed of recovery was planted. So I used to go to AA meetings with my grandma. My grandma was in recovery.
Okay.
She would drag me to AA meetings when I was real little, and it was a good experience. I think I memorized the steps by the time I was like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember lots of potlucks and good stories and a lot of cigarette smoke.
Yeah. Coffee drinking too. Yeah. A little bit of coffee drinking.
Yeah, a lot of that coffee. So, around 12 years old, I started experimenting with alcohol.
Okay. Yeah.
And weed, and I found myself in rehab by the time I was 13.
Oh man,
I went to
that's crazy.
Charter Hospital of Plano.
Oh, Charter Hospital! Shout out to Charter. Hey, a little bit. Just to pause you for a second. I actually went to Charter because I told my mother I was tripping acid one night, and I needed her to stay up with me because I was hallucinating too much. And it was a scary state. First I had my brother, and he was like, "No, I ain't staying up with you. I'm going to bed." So then it was. The next day they sent me to Charter also, but.
I did not know we were alumni.
Yeah, but I never went. I went, and they basically were doing the intake and they were going to send me home to go get a bag of clothes or whatever,
Wow.
and right then I knew, because the doors behind us would lock, so it was like, you're not running away from this place, right? But so when they gave me that opportunity to go home, get my clothes, I agreed just because, because I was like, this is the only way out. Is you agree? So right then I ran away from home. Okay. So yeah. So right when I got home, I took off and just like, peace, I'm going to go live with somebody else. And so I never actually followed through with the charter experience. But let's go ahead. You were 13 and you were in charter hospital.
I won't interrupt, but I just did, but I won't interrupt anymore. From 12 years old, first trying to 13, is that a fast ramp or for positive or negative? Is that
It got fast after I got out. So I was pretty innocent before I went in, but my mom was trying to do this like preemptive thing, you know. You know, your dad's an alcoholic, he's an addict, you know, grandma. This stuff runs in our family. So she was trying to get out ahead of it, and she was doing her own recovery journey as well. And so her heart was in the right place, but I just learned a lot of cool shit. When I was
Your mom or our mom, because I claim her as my mom too sometimes. So she's a recovering addict.
No.
Oh, okay. I thought
she was on her recovery journey, but as we'll touch on later.
Oh, okay.
All of the recovery doesn't have to do with addiction, but I will say this.
Sure, yeah.
She thought she was, but realized later on she wasn't.
Okay, yeah, nice.
A lot of people will say maybe addiction, maybe drinking is my problem, and they realize that it's other things. It's trauma and things like that. But back then, we're talking late 80s.
Yeah.
We didn't know a whole lot about trauma back then.
Right. Nobody touched on it.
No.
They tell you to walk it off back then.
Yeah, exactly. Walk it off. So while I was in charter, I had a good counselor. His name's Gary Carpenter and a Dr. Gaspari. I still remember them.
Oh, wow. Shout out to them.
Yeah. I still talk to Gary. We're still Facebook friends. He's retired now.
Okay.
But he's at different points in my life, he was there for me, which was pretty cool. But I realized early on that I liked talking about my feelings. And for a punk ass, teenager, that's kind of rare.
Yeah. Right.
So I like connecting with people. I like talking about feelings. I like therapy. And so it planted the seed. One day I want to do this.
Oh, right? Nice. So at 13.
At 13.
Wow.
But first, Brandon, what I needed to do was go out and chase women and do drugs.
Yeah.
That's what I learned.
Yeah.
That was my priority as soon as I left charter.
Oh, yeah. That's at that age, that's everybody's priority almost, right?
I was like, okay, girls like drugs.
Yeah.
I like girls.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I knew I wanted to do. So because of that, Brandon, I ended up back in rehab at 15. Because I was out there doing all the thuggish, ruggish stuff.
Damn it. Yeah.
Back to charter.
Yeah, back to charter. Shout out to charter again.
And so then as an older teenager at 15, I really enjoyed it again. But I was actually trying to beat a charge. I got a pretty serious felony charge.
Okay.
And fortunately, I beat that.
At 15?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So they were trying you as an adult or what? Or this was
adult type crimes.
Okay.
There's some violence and weapons involved.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I was exonerated from that.
And to pause for a second, you grew up where?
The Colony.
Colony. Okay. Yeah.
The
Colony
I grew
High
up
School.
in the Colony, but at that time I was hanging out in the mean streets of Farmers Branch and Carrollton.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably played you in Little League football. The Farmers Branch Bengals. I played for the Oak Cliff Jets.
Yeah, I wasn't doing those kind of sports, but yeah. So I was hanging out with a rough crew out in Farmers Branch, and we were doing some things that we shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
It was drugs and money and girls and stuff, and so we were trying to become grown-up gangsters and suffering the consequences of that. And I lost a lot of friends to incarceration and death. As you and I both did.
So I wanted to touch on, when did you one of your best friends passed away?
Yeah, right? Two of them.
Brady, right?
Yeah, Brady.
Brady's the only one I knew of. So when
John Cantu and Brady Crumpton.
Okay. And these were high school buddies?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John Cantu died in a car accident when he was actually getting his life turned around. And
that's sad. Yep.
Brady and I became really close because there was a void in my life after John died.
Okay. Yeah.
And Brady came into my life, and we were both knuckleheads. And Brady was the first sober guy I really knew because he had gone to straight. Him and Mariano Mendoza and a couple other guys.
I know Mariano Mendoza. Yeah, he's
Farmer.
That's Farmer Branch boy right there.
Yeah. So we had our own little underground railroad of people escaping rehab, and we would hide them.
Yeah.
So you escape from rehab, and we would hide you for as long as we could. Right. So I'm still friends with all those guys. Except for Brady, of course, who passed away.
Yeah.
But he had some good sobriety under his belt, and he had a good head on his shoulders. But once he wasn't sober anymore, he got it was a fairly innocent situation where he had taken some GHB and drank some alcohol, and he was at home and got in the bathtub, and he ended up drowning in the bathtub.
Yeah, that's super sad.
So it shook me to the core. It shook our community of friends to the core because Brady was a popular guy. Everybody knew Brady and loved Brady. You know, he was that asshole everybody loved. You know.
So when I first met y'all two were together, and it was at what was the name of that it was an after hour spot, and I think you got into SOA or one of them. You got into a fight with somebody because you're a ruthless guy that would like to throw hands at a lot of people. So it was. So I was with Jamal King. Yeah, shout out to Jamal.
What's up, Jamal?
Actually, Jamal just reached out to me and said he's getting sober, man. He's trying that sober life. Finally, he said finally I'm trying that sober life. Is what he sent me. So I thought that was
never too late.
Never
too late.
So I thought that was good. But yeah, so I did see you guys throw hands. That's the first time I ever met you. And Jamal, I think, told me that he went to school with y'all at Colony. I think so. Yeah. So I knew Brady just for a split second before I heard the tragic news and stuff.
Yeah, I always wondered what life would be like now if Brady was still around and John was still around. They're good guys, man. And, we went through a lot together. But as, this disease of addiction can take you when you're least expecting it. Not necessarily always when you're in the throes of it, but just some random time.
Yeah. And in this day and time, the fentanyl epidemic is crazy, or which we didn't face that in the sense. I mean, I did do fentanyl when it was like a gel form, and I'd suck the gel out of but it was time released patches or something. I'd suck the gel out of the patches because I was a bad kid, man. I took all my stepfather. He had 3 or 4 different types of cancer, and he was a Vietnam vet, and he because of Agent Orange. He had melanoma, lymphoma, all kinds of different cancers. So he got all those meds from the VA, and of course me, I'm in there trying to take them all, and I'm eating more than he is. You know what I mean? Because he would be like, it affects me. So he hated it. He hated anything that was a painkiller, and I was like, "Fucking hand it over, bro." So fentanyl did fit that category, and so
it's very relatable because my mom's last 2 husbands both died of cancer, and so I had really solid access to opioids, and so after they passed, each one of them, I kind of went through everything. Well, this cause. If it said like "don't drive on it" or whatever, I didn't really know too much about them. Yeah, and what I realized later that OxyContin and things like that were pretty dangerous. But I had full access to that stuff. I had my one and only heroin overdose in my early 20s, and I realized because I was always the kind of partier where there was never enough cocaine, and it's not the same way with heroin.
Yeah.
You don't do all the heroin at once.
Right.
So I realized early on that heroin really wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
Which thank goodness, because it could have got a lot darker.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, you could have been in the grave instead.
Yeah, I woke up in a room full of skinheads that were going to throw me in the dumpster as opposed to just leaving me there, taking me to the hospital.
Oh,
so it was like I had a moment of clarity that this life and these people weren't for me.
Yeah. There you go.
So there was a few good decisions along the way. They weren't all bad decisions.
Call that one of them.
Yeah.
You can have that moment in the middle of just being throw it off. Like you're something back here can still pull you back in. Like wait a minute.
Yeah. I was, army crawling through the bushes one night after I had gotten a fight, and all the cops were running around chasing me, and and I'm in the bushes, and then the sprinklers went off. It's wet.
You get soaking wet,
and I'm like, man, I am too old for this.
Yeah.
It was as clear as day, though, right in that moment that I wasn't about this life.
Right. And this is age 20, yeah. You said 20? No. When did you say?
Yeah, the early heroin use was early 20s.
Okay.
And then the army crawling through the bushes
Army crawl
was when I worked at Down Under.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Down Under, man. What a freaking place that was, man.
Yeah, had some good times.
That was a party every night, man. And it wasn't just there. It was a party continued,
Wherever we were,
Yeah.
I think I think there's a common denominator there.
Right.
So I think that's a lot of what keeps us in addiction is there's there's an allure to it.
Oh yeah,
there's an allure to that lifestyle. But then when things get really dark, the lifestyle fades away,
right?
And it's just addiction 24/7.
Yeah,
no more girls around, no more friends around,
right?
Nobody wanted to be around me,
right?
Couldn't hold a job, So, in the addicted brain just always wants to go back to the good times.
Yeah.
Even when you're sitting there alone, just using.
And you're a very likable person too. So for people to not want to be around you, you must have been shitting all over them.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm wondering. You described a whole empty space, but I imagine, and like you said, we all have our things. That wasn't mine. We got things. If there were people around you who were like, "I got you, man. Like you my dude. I got you," and it still was 100% empty when you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think when you get to that point, even if you do have people around you, you feel so alone. I'd be in a room full of people, and I just felt empty.
Yeah.
And I remember even when I went to bars towards the end, I'd sit by myself and drink. And I remember girlfriends of mine, they'd be like, "What's up with Dusty? Just leave him alone." Leave him out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn.
Because they knew I was just not in a good place. I was sad, and it just looking back on it, it was kind of sad, and people were watching this decline, but there's nothing they could do about it. Nothing they could do.
Yep. I remember one time it was funny. So I was in no shape. This was after a down under pub. We were working, and then we went to probably in the Colony right there to the Gecko Lounge or whatever it was. Yeah. And so we party there too, doing blow all night. And so I'm coming out of another place, or somebody's bringing me back to my motorcycle, because I used to drive that motorcycle. And all of a sudden, man, this is daytime, early in the morning. All of a sudden, you're walking out of the fucking between two buildings or something.
That was the night that I was army crawling.
Okay.
I was still on the run from the police.
Okay, so you get on my bike, and I'm like, this bike is not made for two big dudes. You know what I mean? So, and you hug me up like you was a real tight hug around me. And everybody's going to work in the morning time, right? So I'm cruising to my house in Carrollton, and I'm driving him over to my house so we can go to sleep. But it's funny because he basically hugs me real tight, and then he lays his head on the back of me, and I'm parked at not parked, but we're stopped at stoplights, right? And there's so much traffic all next to us. They're all just looking at us. I just felt so uncomfortable a little bit, but
it was emasculating, really. And you almost blew through that one stop sign. I was like, okay, I just survived my night. Now I'm gonna get killed on Brandon's motorcycle.
Oh yeah, man.
We look real sweet together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we, after Down Under closed, I guess, or I don't even know if it closed, but I quit because I might have realized that life is just too intense, and I went to Austin, maybe to clean up a little bit. I was just trying to get out of the Metroplex, right? So I know me and you lost touch for a little bit, but then my sister is like, "Oh, he's down here in Corpus bartending." So what took you down to Corpus Christi to start bartending? Was your mom down there?
Yeah,
or?
my mom was down there.
Okay.
And my stepdad had passed away, R.I.P. Al.
Yeah.
Good man. But my mom was down there living alone. I was at my wit's end. And one night, I was kind of hammered, and I was at my end of my rope, and I just threw the kids in the car and drove to Corpus. I didn't even tell my mom, and I got lost on the way down there by the grace of God, and I say that completely. Yeah. That was real. And the only thing that got me there was God, because I pulled up, knock on the door, kids in tow. My mom opens the door, and I just walk in, and pretty much I knocked a lamp, and that was it. So I was in the hospital within, I think, 24 hours.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And I was there for a few weeks, and so I think that trip saved my life. You would think I would have been good for there, but no. After I got out of the hospital, went back home. That didn't last very long. Well, then I went back down to mom's
Let's pause
house
for a second. The only thing you knew at that time was bartending.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that life is not made for an addict. You know, bartending, trying to be sober around alcohol all the time, and those kind of people, those people are there to have a good time. If you're an addict seeing these people party all the time, you're just like, I want to be right with y'all.
Plus the whole business, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You could be a server.
It's hard to be, and I say this in a lot of different ways. If you're in a dysfunctional relationship, if you have a toxic job, if you're in a living a lifestyle or a job it's not conducive to healing, and you want to heal and you go back into that, it's going to be a hard road.
Oh, yeah.
It's a recovery hostile environment.
Yeah.
Can you do it? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is it going to be an easy walk? It's like, if you want to be sober and you're going back into a relationship after rehab and the person is still drinking and using around you, it's going to make it real difficult.
Yeah.
So, and then, the prospect of what am I going to do with my life? I don't have any other skill.
Yeah. At the time.
Which led me,
So did you do school? Did you do some schooling there in Padre? It was Padre Island, right?
Yeah. In North Padre Island. Shout out to everybody down there. It's still a home away from home for me, and I had a lot of really supportive friends down there, because what you do in addiction, they call it the geographical cure, right?
Yeah.
So DFW wasn't my problem. I was my problem.
Right.
No matter where I go, there I am.
Yeah.
And so I just recreated the same situation down in North Padre Island.
Right.
So, I met the same kind of girls, got another bartending gig, found myself another Coke dealer. And I was back in business.
Right.
Now I just could party on the beach.
Yeah.
And so, that geographical cure is not
It doesn't work. Yeah.
But right before that, if it occurs, I just need to change my geography. Is it such that even a city like Dallas, can it feel real small, such that it seems like if I just get out of this, but the whole Dallas probably felt like, nah, every corner is small to me. It was
Yeah, very much so. And I'm not saying that sometimes you do need to get out of that environment, because I needed to get out of Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah.
But I did need to recreate my environment. So it was helpful eventually when I was ready to go in with both feet to recovery.
Yeah.
And so I did. After multiple hospital stays, multiple arrests, and what really kind of was a shift change for me is I kept going back to the same detox. I got tired of just hanging out with homeless dudes and detox. No judgment to those guys down there, but man,
shout out to the homeless population.
I was at detox unit at Charlie's place, right?
Okay.
And this is where I get a little critical of the industry that I work in. I went to another detox down there called Bayview,
right?
And the psychiatrist discharged me from detox with 100 hydrocodone.
Oh man, what? That's nuts.
Just keep him easy. Like here, just go and keep him.
Let's take these painkillers.
If you're trying to create repeat business, that's how you do it. So I was back in detox in a few short days.
For a different reason, probably. Yeah.
But I went back to the detox that they don't give you opioids at discharge.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But eventually, man, I got my shit together, and I went all into this sobriety, and I went to a group down there called Sunset 7, right there on the island, walking distance if I needed it. And I was still
Shout
bartending.
out to Sunset 7.
I was still bartending, but the thing was I was all in this time.
Okay.
I was working a program, and I went back to school down there at Del Mar College, and I finished my associates, and then I moved back home, which was where I transferred to UNT to eventually get my bachelor's degree and my master's degree there, and rehabilitation counseling.
Yeah.
So when people hear rehabilitation, they think automatically drug and alcohol rehab, but this type of rehabilitation is all disabilities. So addiction is a disability. There's physical disabilities, developmental, intellectual.
Psychological.
So it was working on all aspects of that.
Okay.
We call Vogue rehab. But my preferred choice in the path that I was going to take professionally was licensed professional counseling. I knew that's what I wanted to do with a focus in addiction. But what I figured out really quick in my journey is addiction is very tied to behaviors.
Yeah, yeah.
And behaviors aren't my problem.
Right.
I got to figure out what my problem is, and then I'll be less likely to engage in those behaviors.
Yeah, yeah.
So
that was your coping skill, basically. Doing dope or drinking, finding blow was your coping skill. Chicks were your coping skill.
That was my mechanism. That's what I call it. Because those words are used interchangeably a lot, but for me, a mechanism is something that I developed. Now I have skills.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
That's what I teach people a lot, because we want to teach people. I want to learn to respond and not react.
Okay.
And those words are used interchangeably too. But I think language is important when we're trying to retrain our brain to think differently.
Yeah.
And so, vernacular, if whatever you want to call it, I think is helpful. Well, what's the difference? Well, now I'll know,
Yeah.
Because what's a first responder? They got the right equipment, they got the right training, and we're looking for the better outcomes.
Right.
Now, a reactor, I think a nuclear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck the situation up.
Yeah.
And you got whatever you got on you at that moment.
Yeah.
Whatever you have capacity-wise.
Those are my tools. That's my equipment, and my training is my skill set, which is, whether it's, cognitive behavioral therapy, 12-step work, acceptance and commitment therapy, rational emotive behavioral therapy. Those are all the tools now that I utilize and I teach other people to utilize.
Yeah. Could you say that part again? Addiction is coming from behavior, but then getting to I know I just jumbled it all, but the idea is what's the problem?
We can address that, right? Even in 12-step recovery, we look at like a dry drunk. Well, you haven't put any substances in your body, but let me take a look at your life. Are you happy, joyous, and free? No, I'm miserable. Well, then you didn't address your problem. You're just abstinent, right?
Yeah.
Now, abstinence is the gateway to recovery. Without abstinence, you might not get to that recovery.
Right.
But abstinence won't cure me.
Right.
I just stopped doing that behavior.
Yeah, it's precarious
I might
too.
still have that mindset, an unhealthy mindset. My relationships still might be fucked. My lack of accountability might still be alive and well. Manipulation, lying, I might still be involved in all those behaviors, but I'm sober.
Right.
But it's the recovery that changes my life.
Yeah.
The sobriety I need to get to the recovery.
Yeah.
In my humble opinion.
No.
Sometimes not so
Well, that makes sense, because
right.
abstinence, say you have as a matter of your will, and you go a long time. I'm talking not you. I'm saying Eric, me. Then you'll fall into a pride, and then when you fall off that cliff of what you haven't been doing based on the pride of I got this, and the fall is hard, and
and ego takes over. There's a lot of big egos in the recovery community, right? I'm a recovery rock star, right?
Yeah.
And so our mindset and our health might still be compromised. So we always got to continually work on ourselves so ego doesn't take over.
Right.
Manipulation doesn't take over. That's why for me, like the Eightfold Path is really important from recovery Dharma, because I got to check all of my intentions, my mindset, my intentions, my speech, my behavior, and run it through that filter. So what it's presented is something healthier.
Yeah, for sure. Once I got clean, I I would still have bad intentions,
Yep.
So I would still like. I hate to say this, but I would treat the opposite sex still as just I wanted to use them, at that time. So, and I was doing it while I was on dope all the time. I'd be, and they were game for it, of course, because they were getting high with me, so they didn't care much about themselves. But I also treated humans like basically they were subhumans, not really humans, So
It's another way to chase high and get validation.
Yeah.
Even in sobriety. That's 13 stepping is a thing for a reason,
Right.
And
so Eric, if you're not familiar with 13-step, that means that you're
I've been writing this. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
I got the Eightfold Path. I don't know what that meant.
But he can go over it.
I'll come back to that.
Yeah. But 13-stepping means you take somebody fresh into recovery, and you're basically just trying to make.
I'm gonna take you under my wing and
13.
Yeah. You get it.
I was trying not to be too inappropriate.
That's all good.
But the intentions, what it comes down to, Brandon, is that's another pattern of avoiding my healing and avoiding my feelings, and with sexual gratification and sexual validation.
Yeah.
And so if I've taken alcohol and drugs off the table now,
right.
I'm probably going to lean into other maladaptive behaviors to cope.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's a mechanism again.
Okay.
So I got to really take full inventory of my behaviors and my intentions all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So inventory is something that needs to happen in recovery, whether you're 12-step or non-12-step.
Yeah.
Just checking yourself before you wreck yourself.
Yeah.
That's really what it is, man.
Pretty much.
Fully. Yep. I like that. So let's go back. So you got your master's. I want to know a little bit about not just your plan for the future. Let's tell me a little bit about you had a part where you fell off there for a second because and they demoted you at your rehab center. Was that correct? That you worked at?
Yeah, actually, not too many people know about this, but my life's kind of an open book. So I was taking on too much too soon. I was working at a treatment center as an LCDC intern. So I still really wet behind the ears. And I just took on too much too soon.
Yeah.
And I ended up getting back into coping with the stress through drinking. And it got pretty bad. So then I checked myself into a treatment center down in the hill country.
Okay. Yep.
And, of
and
course,
I think I reached out to you around this time. You're like, man, no, I'm not in good shape, or something like that. You said I'm back in rehab, or I relapsed. I think you said because I think we were going to go see Lincoln Parker. We were going to go see something together, and he ended up dying before we bought tickets, and he ended up committing suicide before that show ever.
Chester.
Yeah, rest in peace, Chester. But I think also you told me that you relapsed or something like that.
That lit a fire into me because I checked myself in, and am I really cut out for this? And the more I've learned over the years about addiction counselors who are in recovery, they often will have a setback and then they quit. They go another route. And I didn't want to be one of those statistics. Right. So I was like, what do I take from this? What do I learn from this? I'm going to go back bigger and stronger. Because one thing about me, I like to prove people wrong. Yeah. And so if you think I'm going to fail and if I'm not cut out for this, I'm going to make sure I am. I'm built for this. I'm built for this. And although I might have setbacks, we all have setbacks. Most successful people have failed multiple times before they reach their pinnacle of their success. And I'm just one of those people. And it's just going to make my story that much spicier.
Yeah. For sure.
there's a space where, and I don't want to run over it because I teach at a community college. So the way people look at you, it's automatically throwaway. But you don't know why somebody's there. I may have to work 3 jobs. I might take care of my mom, do whatever. I may be coming out of addiction. I might be saying, like, the high school. I met this kid there. It's like the teachers didn't listen to me. Guaranteed, and this is the truth. It's not like a typical. They just didn't. She was from Ethiopia. It's crazy smart, but they were like, oh, you did. And she was a genius. But anyway, so when you're at Del Mar, and then getting out of there, going to North Texas, that seemed an impossible path for some people I'm looking at right now at Dallas College. But they're there. And so I'm like, you're already ahead of people who have graduated high school, and I'm not here to shine you on. I don't give compliments. I'm telling you the truth. You've chosen to show up, but I want to know if you could speak to that person, because you've been there. How do you navigate from there into graduate from college, then going to a master's? Because I will admit, even it just seems like an impossible path.
Yeah,
especially while you're still dealing with it.
I barely made it through high school, but I did. In fact, a big part of my high school career was in treatment centers.
Yeah.
And so I got through that, and I never thought I had the intelligence to get a bachelor's degree. And a big part of why I got my master's, if I'm quite honest, I found out that you had to have 4,000 hours of intern to be an LCDC without a master's degree. But then I found out, I don't have to do 4,000 hours of internship if I get a master's degree.
Right.
I can just take a test. So I was like, I can get a master's degree in 4,000 hours. Let's do this.
It's good calculations.
So I applied for it and interviewed. And during that time, too, I started learning about different pathways of recovery. And I started to gain some more confidence that I can do this my way and I don't have to do it old way, the traditional way.
Yeah.
So there's traditional pathways to recovery, 12-step, which I'm a big advocate for, but
that's the mother or the father.
Decades of promotion and through word of mouth and things like that. Now these non-traditional pathways, I don't even call them alternative anymore.
Right.
Just call them non-traditional because they shouldn't be alternative.
Yep.
Correct.
It shouldn't be an alternative lifestyle.
Right.
So I started learning there's other things like smart recovery, recovery dharma, refuge recovery, right?
Some people get that.
Recovery pathways are running,
right?
Health and fitness, martial arts, all these different pathways. And all you have to do is choose that and figure out what works for you. And if it doesn't, take note and pivot and do something that does work for you.
It's just going to be pathway after, like right now, not even alternative, you already said that, but not even non-traditional. Because if I look at public school right now, because I taught there too, like, dog, they just need a pathway. There is no traditional anything that's even on the map.
Yeah.
And so just give me a pathway.
Like learning styles, right?
Yeah.
We know children learn differently. And so education system is starting to adapt to that, or it had begun to adapt to that. And recovery is no different. We recover in different ways, and we find the way that works for us.
Yeah.
It's like we're going to be able to make a beeline to a better life as opposed to doing something that doesn't align with us.
Right.
We're going to have a really difficult time, whether it, depending on what your demographic is and what your belief systems are, finding something that aligns with that. And we have enough choices now, and they're continuing to develop new pathways that, harm reduction. I had never heard of harm reduction before. I
don't even know what that is. What is harm reduction?
Harm reduction, I learned this when I was working in UNT, and now it's more my pathway than anything as far as how I navigate recovery. It doesn't require complete abstinence from all mind-altering
Is this
substances.
self-harm reduction, basically?
No.
Or no?
No.
You're saying coming from an addictive place,
Harm
just
reduction.
reducing your...
So reducing the amount, so let's say I had an addiction to heroin, an addiction to methamphetamine, and I stopped doing that, but I drink socially. That's harm reduction.
Okay.
Let's say I stopped drinking alcohol, and maybe I use marijuana to help me not drink. That's harm reduction. So it means I'm still engaging in something that could potentially cause harm, but I'm reducing the amount of harm.
Oh, yeah.
And able to maintain that reduction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
the
that
idea.
would define it. I mean,
That's the idea. And so, what's the end?
And also, if you go complete abstinence of everything, sometimes that's impossible for people.
Sometimes
you know what I
they're
mean?
not ready for that.
It's like all or nothing is sometimes not there for people. So maybe just let me have this, and I'm going to get rid of this. Might work out a little bit better, and that'll get them to stay in a basically
stabilized.
stable mindset at least.
So that's a new thing? You said you
It's
first
not
taught at
that
UNT?
new, but it's becoming more well known, right? So even on something, my friend Tim Trail, he told me about how he'd work with these college students, and they were like, okay, I'm drinking 18 to 24 beers in a night. I'm blacking out. I'm getting in trouble with the law. I'm not going to class.
Right.
Well, do you want to stop drinking? Oh, hell no. Well, can we drink less? Oh, okay, I'm open to that. Well, how about we go down to a 6-pack in a night? Yeah. Are you willing to try that? I'm willing to try that. Well, see, now we've opened the door to reducing the amount of harm this young man is doing on his body and seeing if that's going to help him avoid missing class, avoid getting in fights or getting arrested. Yeah. We're already doing some progress here. Right. That is recovery.
And they can see it. Because there's guaranteed harm on the far end. But have you had somebody go through that reduction and go like, yo, with a 6-pack? I mean, number one, you don't even know. I'm not even we're doing the same thing, but you've seen them maintain and able to reduce the harm. Like,
And sometimes that harm reduction and being supported through the harm reduction,
that's it.
They open their ears to abstinence sometimes too. My life is getting so much better, and I'm getting used to not drinking much. Maybe I'll just go with this abstinence stuff you talk about.
Right.
So it's just meeting people where they're at, because it used to be the old way was you got to be sober or stay out there and keep messing up, and then when you're ready to be 100% sober, then come back.
Yeah.
And that's that's okay for some people.
So relapse is part of their plan, right?
Yeah. Well, relapse is part of recovery.
Yeah. So they were relapsing over and over again because it was too tough.
If you hadn't tried to stop and fail before, how would you know you had a problem?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of me figuring out that I'm addicted or dependent on a substance is because I've tried to stop and failed.
Right.
And I don't know any person who's tried to stop and been successful the very first try.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know anybody. I'm sure they exist. Then it makes me question, were you even an addict in the first place?
Yeah.
That's what you said before.
What made you think that you needed to stop in order to stop so quickly and be successful? And if that's the case, that's fantastic.
Right.
I mean, I've heard them called one-chip wonders.
One-chip wonders.
But I don't know any one-chip wonders.
Yeah. Yeah. So I relapsed too after, what was it, like 7 months maybe? But I spent 3 months inside the freaking treatment center. So it's like, so really 4 months outside the treatment center, and then it was like back to smoking meth again, and it didn't take long. And before I was just hiding it from everybody. And I was like, I'm going to do it right this time. I'm going to smoke meth. I'm going to look healthy. I'm going to go out in the sun, tan my body. I'm not going to look pale. I'm not going to, I'm going to make sure I brush my teeth, I'm going to be a clean meth head, So it was like, so it took me about 7 months, man. Then I went back out for 3 more years, man. It was until I got hospitalized. It was like it wasn't a. I think what really woke me up was my son was there, and they found traces of heroin in my blood when they did some blood work. Because I continued to just vomit. I couldn't stop vomiting. And I wasn't even throw up anymore. It was just a bile or whatever you had, and so basically, and then what it was I didn't have any more heroin. So at that time, and I didn't think that was the issue. I was a meth head that was coming to take the edge off of the meth. I would dabble with heroin, which wasn't the case, man. Heroin's a powerful ass drug, man. And, but because I would take it in the Afrin bottles. So I'd take that, dump out all the Afrin, and then I would put a black tar in there and
monkey water.
Some monkey water, and just snort it. Yeah, carry it in my pocket and snort it whenever I want. You can go in public. Right. Nobody knows what you're doing.
That's the Hollywood Henderson style.
Yeah, there you go.
Word up.
And so I did that, and it ended up getting the best of me, man, because that's what put me in the hospital. But anyways, back to my story. When they found that out, my son next call was CPS, And if that was it, I was like, I had my buddy with me, and he took my son to his mother's house, and got him out of there, but that would be in the next call. They were going to take my son away. So that was like a wake up call for me for I was like, shit, man, I'm not just destroying my life. I'm about to destroy somebody else's too, so that was kind of it for me.
It's powerful, man. It's that clarity we talk about. Those moments of clarity, they're blessings.
Changes the motor too. Not just like you're operating from a different motor, like at that point.
Well, it's true, and people say you have to get clean or sober for yourself. Maybe at some point, but a lot of people are doing it for other reasons, whether it's my kids, or my wife, or whatever. Whatever is going to help shift you into a different place of change is relevant. And then hopefully at some point you're doing it for you. But it can start out for a number. I don't want to go to prison. I don't want to die. Right? That's where we get into the willingness piece. I don't have to want to. I have to be willing to.
Right.
Hopefully the want comes later.
Yeah.
Because the fear didn't do it. I was
and
hospitalized for 28 days, 23 days, 15 days in ICU.
One time you looked like you were about to die, bro. I was like, shit.
All those times I was
you had tubes all hooked up to you and stuff. I was like, God damn, It's like,
but that's where the ego comes in. That I thought I was unstoppable. Even in detox, man, there's these little psych interns coming through that were pretty. I'm like, I think I got a chance.
You're in your robe or whatever the gown.
The addict ego, man, is something a force to be reckoned with. You can look in the mirror all strung out. I think I was 140 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I'm 235 now.
Yeah.
thinking, oh, damn, I look good. I don't look strung out.
I look good, yeah. I remember you. You had a big head and a little body. Little body frame and a big head. I was like,
bobblehead.
I was like, damn. But you weren't the only one. We all looked like that. You know,
we were skinny.
Horrible.
I mean, there's a line that runs through it, which is even if it's all me, I can maybe be abstinent for a while. But even at my best, if it's all me, that best is not going to be best without some other motor. And I'm not here preaching. Matter of fact, what I say won't sound like anything textbook Christian, but it is the Bible that says, look, your best, Eric, is a filthy rag. It's not a metaphor. It's saying like your best, if it comes out of you, is a filthy rag.
Yeah.
That ain't no, that means, no, it means you're garbage if you're trying to do this on your absolute, on my own power.
Yeah.
And that's amazing to see.
That's
like,
powerful.
Because it took me a whole long time to get there. I hit the dirt last year. I mean.
Well, there's only one rule that I think is an absolute, and you can look at this from a community aspect or a spiritual aspect or a Christ-based aspect, however you want to, but you cannot do this alone. You know, I think that's the one only absolute.
Yeah, because your will is not enough, right?
Correct.
Isn't that how it goes?
That's where we're going.
I need support. You know, I need a higher power. You know, I need Christ. Whatever that.
That's why I call it. It's a different motor inside. If the motor's just me, that's
get that motor running.
Yeah.
This dude helped me up so much, man. Just in the past 3 years of running in that dirt in places I would not have imagined. Number one, in terms of being able to do physically, like total 100% absolute exhaustion. Like I quit, but then once you get to I quit, it means you just started.
Yeah.
Everybody can get up to that quit point.
And I hope I look like him when I'm his age. How old are you, Eric?
Let's go 5'6" for the win, Bob.
5'6" for the win. Yeah.
Nice.
Trying to keep it moving, boy.
Well, I tell you, you know, I know it's running for you guys, and for me, it's more like weightlifting and stuff, but that's another pathway to recovery. The thing is so underutilized. It's proven to be more effective than most psychoactive drugs, you know. So people are on all sorts of different things. And I'm not anti-medication, but I'm very pro health and fitness.
Right.
It's not just eating right, sleeping right, drinking enough water, and keeping your body moving at the very minimum. I don't care if you're just walking. Yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, just keep your body moving, and you're going to be in a healthier mindset.
Yeah,
and doing that consistently is going to be important.
Yeah,
and that's physical. It changes your chemistry inside.
Absolutely.
Changes the way stuff builds you. I mean,
there's evidence-based tools that we're talking about here. Same thing with mindfulness and meditation.
Yeah,
this stuff is proven to prolong your life.
Yeah,
reduce your heart attacks. Increase your adrenal functioning, lower your blood pressure.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
And it's always available to you.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything.
Especially the older we get.
On that mind, I got a poor man's experiment that has never failed. I say never. Like I used to teach high school. You give my athlete guys, okay, do 30 push-ups. He can do 30. But if I had told him, do 20, you can do 20. I say, okay, now 10 more. That next 10 is hard. And it's just here. There's not the same body.
Yeah.
But if you set if my brain tells my body 30, we clocking that. But then if I tell you do 40.
Yeah.
He does 50 all the time. And I say, give me 10 more.
Yeah.
That's a hard 10, boy.
Right. Oh, it's still a hard 10 anyways. Yeah. Always. I think really the body should only do 40. At least me, I'm stuck at 40. And like that last 10, I'm like, I have to take like a total bridge before I can go back down to flat to start doing more push-ups, you know? It's like I have to total extension of the arm and the legs, you know, just to rest for a second, then go back down and start doing more, you know?
Whatever you tell yourself you can do, you'll do. It's like, you know, Ronnie Coleman, that's easy weight, you know?
Yeah.
Lightweight.
If we have developed the mindset of failure, successfully developed the mindset of failure, we can successfully develop the mindset of success, right? We are very easily adapted and trainable. We're not near as complex as we think. If I get up every morning, I tell myself that I can do this, that I'm worth doing this, I will do it, right? And if I get people to dedicate like a daily maintenance routine of healthiness, positivity, regimented consistency,
and speaking that.
Speaking that.
No, I'm asking, is that part of it too?
Yes, absolutely. Looking right into the eyes of yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that you deserve this recovery. Your children deserve a father. Your mother deserves a son. Right? You deserve to be this professional. You're earning a seat at whatever table that you're working to have a seat at. You will manifest those things. Not by talking about it, but you will do the work that comes along with it.
Dude, that power of the brain. Here's one more. Don't try this as camp counselor. But outside, hot Texas sun, I'm a poor man scientist. I was like, let me see how powerful the mind is. Like, long story short, if you're on the subway, you're not going to pee on yourself. Just not going to happen. Right. I don't care how bad you had to go. Once that door closes, like, I'm good. I can read a book. But so anyway, these kids outside playing, right? And drinking a lot of water. And then at some point it occurred to me, I said, everybody come over here. Who's got to go to the restroom? They said, I got to go. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll give you this $20 if you can just walk in the bathroom, touch the wall, and walk back out. Now, as grown people, we know that as once that key hits the front door, the dance starts. Sometimes I walk back away from the car just to stop it. But not a single one. And once he walked in, he's like, I can't keep it. And so they think about it. The body is the body, and that was just controlled by your mind. So I said, my mind has got to be something way more powerful than just to keep me from messing with my pants, man. I mean,
it's true, man. This mindfulness that you speak of, I took my son to a meditation with the guy I mentioned earlier, Tim Trail, and we were able to lower our heartbeat in the first meditation session. My first and my son's first. In that first session, I was like, this is powerful stuff. Navy SEALs do it. They can increase and decrease their temperature, heart rate, and blood pressure just through mindset, right? And I went to another meditation center called Mystic Mandala, which is one of the coolest places. It's over there in Plano.
Shout out.
Shout out to VJ and Ananda out there. And they were a big part of my recovery too, because I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but that's where they allowed us to start Recovery Dharma Plano. Mystic Mandala. And VJ and Ananda have become dear friends of mine. But also where I kind of took it to another level, which I got into Recovery Dharma. And I went to a meditation one day, and there's a gland behind your eyes.
Your third eye.
And he's like, if you follow this instruction, you're going to feel this light up. It starts with a P.
Pineal gland.
Pineal. I always want to call it perineum. I think that's your taint.
That's a netherworld gland right there. That's
a whole nother area.
Your nether region's gland.
Think of a pine cone, because the pineal gland, if you look
back here?
Yeah, if you look at back in the day, they used to have staffs with pine cones on the top of them.
Got it.
Because the third eye was very, very it was useful back in those days. Now ours has been, I don't know what they call it, but it's been blocked by,
deactivated.
Deactivated.
But I was able to activate this. All I did, I was like, this sounds like BS, but I respect and trust him. So I'm going to follow his instructions in this meditation. Next thing you know, it starts firing up. I've never felt that sensation in my entire life. And I was like, there is something to this stuff. Fast forward years later, now I'm out there doing sound healings myself.
I saw that not that long ago.
So
you had all the bowls and stuff.
My cousin Brandon Henderson. Shout out to Brandon Henderson. And here's the thing: for somebody, I'm the absolute skeptic on that. Once people enter into mysticism. But here's the thing, the body, for what we know about it, I don't care, put a surgeon on the show right now and say, what do we know about the body percentage-wise? He would have to go like this. And so for us, the physical, this is my poor man's science about to happen, I got to warn, the physical, for what we know, is practically and essentially metaphysical. But it's still physical, so you can do physical things that you have no idea to understand because the body is built in such a way. And so that's for people who may not have access, because to be honest, you won't get me to go sit down and somebody starts me off in a metaphysical, but if I can, but I have felt it in the woods running 50 miles. I'm like, wait a minute, a brand new body showed up. I'm gonna hit you one more time with the 14 miles. A brand new body showed up after I'm laid on the trail.
Yeah.
Just because I sat there and I said, all right, man, it's getting dark.
Right.
So it was presented to you in a different way, a way that's palatable. Yeah. But essentially, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Body.
That's just another pathway to the metaphysical mysticism.
Sure. So I want to talk to you a little bit about so you taking care of your kids after their mother passed away, and how did that affect them? I know you don't want to speak completely for them, but you in your part of it basically is what I want to know. Like, it must be so difficult, not only that you lost somebody that you loved in the past, or you probably still love them always, but they, but not only that, but the kids losing their mother is like, man, that's big time, So maybe touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I might get emotional here, but I will say this: losing the mother of your children, her name is Nikki.
Yeah,
about 6 years ago, last week, losing her and dealing with that grief, as a friend, as and all the things we went through together, the really difficult things, but a lot of really wonderful things. That was the worst. My worst fear at that point in my life is to have to sit down with my kids and tell them that their mother's gone. And I'm sure she had the same fear when I was
in the hospital.
in my dark places. You don't ever want to have to tell your kids that their parent is gone. So, and I'm still grieving that loss,
right.
Because she is and will always be the mother of my children.
Right.
And when I was in my early sobriety, she moved up. A lot of people don't know this. She moved down to Padre Island because my mom couldn't handle me. So I moved down there to get sober, but I was still a handful. It was a while before I actually committed to it.
Right.
And so Nikki moved down there and supported me through the darkest parts of my addiction. And then I was able to finally get it and get some sobriety under my belt. And so when she had relapsed, that led up to her death, I tried to support her as much as I could. So, we were in a good place at that point, which made it a little, I didn't have quite as much guilt around that, because if I hadn't tried to heal that relationship and we weren't in that good place, I would have been carrying a hell of a lot more guilt around it than I do. But, back to the kids, I'm super proud of them, because to lose a parent at any age is difficult, as you know. And for them to be as resilient and have coped with their grief in such an emotionally mature way, I just I couldn't be more proud of them. I was very fearful this would set us back as a family, each one of them as individuals, me as a father. How do I cope with that? How do I lead my children and support and nurture my children through something that I don't even know how I'm going to get through? But we managed to get through it with the support of my mom and Nikki's mom and some other wonderful people in our lives, And my current girlfriend has been so instrumental in supporting me through my continued grief, that she knows that I'm still hurting from this, and she supports me when it gets difficult. I can talk to her. And that's one of the cool things about our relationship. Nice. For your current significant other to support you in the grief of losing your ex is pretty powerful.
Oh, yeah.
And this is for both y'all. When somebody goes with you in that extent, it's something, because there's no guarantee. Like you said, nobody. When you're at the place where nobody can help you, and you realize somebody's going to go with me with no guarantee that I'm coming out, so they put their whole person into yours.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had that, and it's a different, it's hard to find that. That's what I'm saying.
Very hard. To find.
Yeah. I know that Eric's dealt with his father passed away. Yeah, Eric?
Yeah, last December.
Yeah, last December. Yeah.
But I'm talking about this space where when you need somebody to ride with no guarantee that you can come to a space, but they're going to put all of it into you, then at some point you hope you could be that for somebody else. And that's another reason why I even teach, because I'm telling the kids this straight up. I'm like, look, they've already forgotten about you. But not to discourage, but I'm saying we haven't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm here. I'm not here to even teach you. I'm here to learn from you. And you're going to think that's a bunch of BS until we get far in it. And then you discover that you do have stuff to teach. Mm-hmm. So, but without any nature of exchange, but going back to have somebody who can just, go down there with you and say, look, I'm in it. That's huge. I mean,
yeah, just be in that pain with you, sit in that space with you, cry with you, and I will continue to honor her memory and all the good parts and the lovable things that she did. Because my children are the very best parts of her.
Yeah.
And I see her and my kids every day.
And I mean, even here, someone else, your current girlfriend, signing up for what there's an untold, we've already talked about, the relapse into mental space even. Somebody who signs up for that, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But we have, we had a supportive community of people, and I think the kids, not to speak for them because they're adults, but I'm sure they're still grieving too in their own way. How could they not be?
Always.
But they're grinding and they're successful and they're getting through school, and it didn't set them back.
Yeah,
and we talked about that as a family, that we're a resilient bunch. The Burrows crew,
Burrows.
Yeah, I get it from my mom, and I tell my mom this, and she knows it, but I'll say it again and again and again. Everything that I am in the very best ways, and everything I'll ever be, if it wasn't for that woman, I wouldn't have any of it, because everybody gave up on me. I'm sure my kids didn't, but they're too little to know better.
Right.
But everybody else, kind of written me off. My family and even most of my friends, But a lot of that wasn't necessarily people avoiding me. But when you get deep into your addiction, you isolate.
What can they do? You can't blame them. What can they do?
Yeah, you're so ashamed of yourself. You don't want anybody to see you. That's why we lose so many people to overdose and stuff, because they're using alone. Because I don't want anybody to see me like this. Because at this point, the ego is gone.
Yeah.
You've deflated it.
Oh,
the
yeah.
only thing there,
you don't care about yourself at all.
No, the only thing there is your addiction, and you don't want to be around anybody.
Right.
So I don't have any animosity for anybody distancing themselves. Because, matter of fact, if they did, they would probably being healthy. To put some light on it, I could ruin your life pretty quickly if you hung out with me. If you hung out with me for like 3 or 4 days, your girlfriend or wife's probably going to leave you.
This elevator going down.
Getting fired from your job.
Right. So also let's talk about just briefly about where you're headed towards now with your career. You did tell me that you're going to open the door to a new establishment, maybe. And
so right now I work for Inner Health Ranch out in Van Alstyne. It's an amazing residential treatment
shout
center.
out.
So that's my full-time job, and I've been with Sessions Wellness Group out in Flower Mound since its inception, and
shout out.
and it's been an amazing ride. I am developing and launching Rehumanate Counseling and Recovery Services.
Nice.
November 15th. And this is an exclusive. You heard it here. Nobody else knows.
And you are the CEO of this, Dusty Burrows?
Yes, it is my baby now. So I can develop my baby. And it's out in the Willow Bend neighborhood.
Oh, nice.
So over there by Willow Bend.
Perfect area.
So I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Did I spell this right? REHUMANATE.
Yeah, rejuvenate's a word I kind of came up with. And it's just rejuvenating humans.
Yeah, rejuvenate. I like it, man.
There it is.
Yeah,
I see it.
That's awesome.
So that's my PLLC that's going to be up and running. And so we're going to be doing, of course, I work with primarily adults only with addiction, trauma, anything really, severe mental health. And then I work with couples too. And then I'll have some recovery coaches that'll be working with us over there at Rehumanate.
Oh, nice.
And I do EMDR and I do ketamine-assisted psychotherapy.
Yeah, nice.
So we'll be offering some different services, and I'll just be doing that part-time because I'm committed to my work over there at Inner Health.
Okay.
And I love it out there. I work with an amazing team of clinicians, and our whole staff from top to bottom are just amazing. And so I love it out there. I'm excited to go to work every day. Yeah. And so I'll keep doing that because, as you know, and as you guys, we just met, but I know Brandon, he's always got his hands in some different cookie jars. And I'm the same way. I got to stay
Yeah.
I got to stay active. And for some people, it's too much. For me, it's just the right amount.
Nah, I ain't never been fishing with just one pole. I mean,
I like that. I like that.
I like that too. Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that one, man. That's good. So yeah, I'm excited about that, and it's just those next steps. You know, I've set these goals, and it's those things. It's like I've been working on certain things for a long time, and then when they happen, people are like, oh, but they don't know that I've been planning and praying and manifesting these things for a very long time. Like Rehumanate.
Yeah.
If you look back at my social media, I've been hashtagging that for a few years now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's been in the works.
That seed's been planted a long time ago. Yeah.
And, Vanilla Viking,
Vanilla
mental
Viking,
health activewear.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's,
Vanilla Vikings in the house.
That's another thing that I want to do. So I'll be launching some of those T-shirts.
Yeah. I
we
saw
gotta
that.
cop
Yeah.
that.
I reached out to the T-shirt lady that was making your demo shirt or whatever, because I was trying to get some shirts made, and she was like, "Yeah, you just send me some info, blah blah blah," and I was like, all right. But I found these for a very reasonable price, so I ended up just getting a bunch
it's
of them.
It's a little simpler when you do things local, but I wanted to support her in her endeavor too. So, but yeah, that was nice of her to send me those shirts.
Yeah.
So.
That was cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of things I got, going, but that's the next big step, just to have something of my own, something of my inception, because I'm putting all this work out. I've been working very hard for Sessions and very hard for any organization I work for.
Yeah,
but I want to put in some work for me too.
Yeah, man, you got a good brand going for sure. Yeah, Vanilla Viking, I like
Plus
that.
all those different things, they coalesce into one person. Because I come from that same world thing. If you tell people you do this, I shoot photography with this, and then what do you do? I teach. What do you do? I teach Spanish. What do you do? They're like, dog, he doesn't do anything. So you need somebody who can understand that the consistency is in the person. And for my man listening right now, Los, these ain't side hustles. It's not a side, like, you got a nice side hustle. Like, no, we're at the top of each of these.
I like that.
And so you're able to bring yours together into one, this is what I do.
Right.
I'm about that too.
Yeah, it's just all part of how I express myself. Which is part of my recovery too.
Yeah.
And I express myself in a lot of different ways, and I have a lot of different interests. Psychedelic recovery is a big one.
I'm a big fan of the psychedelics too, man.
Yeah, and I've been. A lot of people have been supporting it privately, but I wanted to be one of those first counselors that come out and support it publicly. As an advocate, as somebody who's been healed and developed by the use of psychedelics, both psilocybin, even wouldn't call it a natural psychedelic, but I've been a patient at ketamine clinic, NeuroGlow, that I work with closely, and so it's helped me on my recovery journey. It wasn't just addiction. I mean, I'm recovering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I found myself very hyper vigilant for no reason for a long, long time in particular situations, and I was like, I know this is unhealthy. I'm just always waiting for something to pop off. The thing is, I haven't been because it does. I've proudly not been in any physical fight. I haven't punched anybody in, I think, 12 years now.
No, that's good, man. Because I remember one time you just it didn't take long, man. Some guy was beefing with me at the bar, and you just walked over and just popped him, man. I was just like, oh my God. I was like, damn, Dusty.
Don't need a lot of words.
He didn't say a word. He just walked over and just blasted him. I was like, damn. I think he said, "Is this guy messing with you?" I said, "Yeah, a little bit." And he just blasted him. That was it.
I believe in quick solutions, but this is one thing. What you just mentioned, it has to be guided, because there's so much myth that comes out of it straight from the 70s when the research started with our guy from LSD, the original. But anyway, then the pop off happened.
Who, Timothy Leary?
The world goes, world goes nuts. But so if you come back, and so let me bring it to earth. I have a friend who does. He's training for a race, and so going micro on psilocybin for the athletic, for the body benefit. Now, there aren't many people I could say that to who wouldn't be like, "Yo, is he doing X? X as in sample, not the X. Is he doing this?" And so it would have to be a guided entry into what that is again, and in the physical effect from somebody who knows. Like
to comment on what you're saying, I think anything that you encounter in your pursuit of healing, you need to be an informed consumer. Educate yourself on all of it, and don't do anything that's going to land you in jail either.
Right,
you know?
right.
That's always a plus.
As a professional counselor, there's some things I can't necessarily advocate or provide because I don't want to lose my license.
Right. Yeah.
So that's why I specifically am an advocate for IV ketamine therapy. So I refer them to NeuroGlow, and they do the IV ketamine and they do NAD, and what I do is the integration, the pre-integration and the post-integration. Right. So you're going to have these sessions, they're 45 minutes, but you're going to come in and talk to me. What is some intentions you want to set? Because set and setting and all that, those safety features when it comes to psychedelic experiences and journeys, that's already taken care of. Yeah. What do we want to get out of this? We're not just going there to do ketamine all willy-nilly, so we come up with, different things.
What's your treatment? The average person, because the mythology part comes from people just going for straight entertainment or enhancing. You don't start from, let's make life better. You start from, you need this. And so this is what we're doing in order to bring you to that goal that you said you want to get to. And this is one more thing that hasn't been used as much, but then you guide them into what. Okay.
Yeah, and this isn't a quick fix either. If you're behaving in unhealthy ways, if you're drinking, partying too much, or not getting enough sleep, you're on different psychotropic medications, and you're just unhealthy in all these other holistic areas, you don't need to be going to do this stuff yet. You need to prepare the body and the mind before you do. You need to be getting sleep health, plenty of hydration, eating healthy, right? Be in a good mindset. There's certain medications that you shouldn't be on if you're going to embark on these journeys. You need to be healthy in certain ways. So you need to be working on that before you go in to some of these things. If you have a history of like psychosis, bipolar disorder, things like that, this is probably not for you.
Right. Yeah.
There's other things that I might recommend for you to do and that aren't in the psychedelic realm because, whether it's high potency THC, different psychedelics, both synthetic and natural, that can trigger some things in some people that are permanent that have history of psychosis in their family. And if you don't know, you need to kind of find out what that history looks like for you and your family. I think it's important for anybody to kind of gather their own family information when it comes to mental health and addiction. If you had a couple of people in your, maybe grandpa had schizophrenia or uncle so-and-so, you don't want to potentially unlock some things that you can't fix. So,
So if you can set them right just for them totally uninitiated, there's obviously, you keep your license. There's a legal range at which people are exploring this, actually doing it as treatment. Period.
What I suggest to people, if you really want to do some stuff like that, save up some money and then go somewhere like Cancun or Costa Rica, somewhere where there's a reputable and researched places where you can go on these psychedelic journeys. I just had a friend come back from Cancun that did iboga.
Okay.
I had another one come back from another Costa Rica that went through an ayahuasca ceremony.
Lex Friedman.
And so when people come back, I make it a point. Usually they reach out to me because they're so excited. They're like, Dusty, I'm back.
Yeah.
We got to go out to lunch. I got to tell you about it. And so because I read a lot of research, and there's tons of it out there globally. But there's a difference between reading research and then sitting across from your friend and tears are rolling down his eyes because he finally says, man, I'm healed.
Yeah.
Man, I've been carrying this around for decades. I couldn't stop using this drug or carrying this shame and grief around. And now I'm okay.
Yeah.
And if he hears this, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about. But it's not really my story to tell.
Right.
But just to hear those words from somebody that hasn't been okay for a very long time to going to, I'm okay now. I don't know if I'm going to be okay later, but I know I'm okay now.
Today I'm okay.
Nobody knows that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's cool.
Just for today, man. You're okay today.
And as cliche as it sounds, that just for today and that's one day at a time, that's all we have anyways. That's all we have anyways. Yesterday don't matter. Right. Tomorrow's not promised. Anything I do to implement change in my life is only good for today.
Yep. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, you're only as good as how you're showing up for yourself.
Yep.
I'm my own problem and my solution. I get to choose.
So I wanted to shout out to Richard, man. He talks highly of you, and you were only just a cook at that rehab center, but boy, he loves him some Dusty. So it just shows that.
Hold on, that was you?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. So that shows the effect that you have on people's lives, even if you are cooking food or whatever. Even though he said that you'd sit there with the torch to cook the whatever the desserts or whatever. You had a torch in there, and you're like, "Hey, Richard, is this?" You're teasing him and shit. So.
Well, it's funny because I had some bracelets that I made that says "My brain lies to me." Richard came up to sessions and got one for me, or got something for me. I can't remember. But we were talking about that. So he didn't know that I was a counselor and I had a setback, and that's why I was working in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
But he had only known me as just a person in recovery who just happened to be working at that treatment center. And the chef that worked there had a huge impact on people as well. So no matter what capacity, when you're working at these centers, you could be the cleaning person, or you could be the cook, or you could be the intake lady.
Yeah.
At every point, you have the ability to influence people, and that's pretty special.
And plus, they mean so much to you because you're so broken at that time.
Yeah.
So every little person that comes in your life at that time of some clarity that you're having finally, you're in love with them almost. I was the same when I was at my recovery centers. I was like, man, every counselor was the best counselor, even though they could have been shit, but I thought they were the best, just because, at that point of my life, I finally found some clarity in life, and they're wonderful, man.
They were part of that journey, and Richard didn't know that, so I didn't know he didn't know that, and he was probably like, "Wow, oh, no wonder he seemed to be kind of, knew some things clinically."
Yeah.
I was already doing that, but of course I wasn't talking about that while I was working in the kitchen.
Right. Yeah. So we've already gone over the hour. We usually do an hour, Dusty. So I have one last question for you. I always ask all my guests, what is your favorite movie, Dusty?
Oh, man, that's a tough one. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore, but I'm kind of old school.
Yeah.
I'm like Godfather, Scarface.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's always my
If I was going to watch one movie over and over again, it would probably be like the Godfather movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like it. Yep.
I never.
But you probably have to watch
into Marvel. I never got into Star Wars or Star
really?
Trek.
Yeah,
because I was too busy out there doing hood rat shit with my friends.
Right.
So I didn't really. And my daughter she's like, "Dad, you robbed us of some of our childhood because
you can't get the stories.
You never took us to see these things and do these things." I was like, "Well, now you get to experience them for the first time."
Right. Yeah.
Imagine that, introducing a kid to this is He-Man.
Yeah.
Oh, word.
I love
this is Godzilla.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Godzilla's great, man. I just went to a Godzilla fest, which is pretty wild. Yeah.
We had it here.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was like it was down at Texas Theater.
Texas Live or
Texas Theater, yeah, down off of Jefferson, and they had like 2 showings of old Godzilla movies, black and white.
Is that the old Major Theater?
Texas Theater? I don't know.
Yeah,
what was it?
I think I saw Buster Rhymes there back in the 1990s.
I don't know because it's a theater like yeah, it is I'm not sure though. But yeah, it was cool. I took my son down there and his
Gojira.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's his first name. Yeah, Gojira.
Yeah.
And then we took it and said, "We can't say Gojira, Godzilla."
Yeah, Gojira.
I think they did it for us and said they're not going to be able to do Gojira.
So they call it Godzilla, right?
Yeah, make it easy for the Americans.
Yeah, that's fantastic, though.
Mad at that.
But man, I want to thank you, Dusty, for coming out, man. This is fantastic, and I don't get to see you much, man. I love you, brother, and
me too, man.
Sucks that we don't get to cross as much paths. I know. I mean, if you're out there running trails with me, then it would be a different story. But you're doing your life of keeping people safe.
I'm allergic to cardio.
Yeah, keeping people alive, keeping people safe, lifting weights. You're doing good, man. You look good. Everything's good, man. In life,
thanks
seems
for
like
having
it.
me out today, man. It's a good talk. I could talk with you guys all day.
Yeah.
So
once you get things rolling, we'll have you on again, man.
I would love to.
This new treatment.
Promote that.
Yeah.
And thanks for giving me a format to announce it and giving me kind of some space to really kind of share what my passion and my purpose is, man. I think I'm blessed, and
that's huge. Yeah.
If I had to go through all of that to get to where I'm at today. That's just what it took, man.
Yeah.
That's just what it took.
Hey, it's beautiful, man. That's your story right there.
That's
The journey begins and ends with you, buddy. You know. So we'll be we're gonna go out from there, and God bless everybody.
Salute, salute. By the way, Godzilla means gorilla and whale together. I never knew that.
I did not know that.
Imagine you see a gorilla whale coming at you way like
Kelly's mic's open.